And it is time for Cleared to Play. Back to your calls in just a second, but right now we take you inside the tent. Get you updated on the latest injuries in the Bay and beyond. Proud to partner with UCSF Health on this segment and bring in our guy, Associate Professor of Orthopedic Surgery, Dr. Nirav Pandya. Doc, it's great to talk to you. Who plays basketball tonight?
Stephen Curry plays basketball.
Thank you.
Stephen Curry.
He'd better.
Yeah, no joke.
Seriously. That was a good answer, Doc.
Hey, before we dive into that game, and in fact, knock on wood, two pretty healthy teams, what are your thoughts on Jimmy Butler, who about an hour ago got announced as out?
You know, it's kind of interesting because you saw there are these clips of him walking around New York City yesterday, and he's actually sprained that right ankle a lot, and in general, hasn't actually missed time with sprains on that right ankle. So this definitely probably is a little bit more severe than you expect, particularly given his history of playing through these. So definitely is something to be concerned about, particularly since they depend on him a lot. But hopefully they're probably taking this more precautionary and saying, look, let's just put this game aside, make sure that ankle is good for a long series. But definitely a little bit atypical for a Jimmy Butler ankle sprain, given the fact that he's missing some time.
One more out-of-market bonus take here with Doc Pandya, and that's Joel Embiid with a grade 2 MCL sprain. What's the likelihood of him being able to gut out something of this nature?
You know, I think for any other athlete, this would be probably a serious or even kind of playoff-ending injury. But Embiid has this history of playing through pretty significant injuries. He had this issue with his thumb, with his UCL in the thumb. He played through a meniscus injury last year. So he definitely has shown that he can play through pain. I think the larger issue is his knee going to be stable enough for him to be effective? And I think a lot of people have the conception of, you have this ligament injury, it's all about the pain. Well, your ligaments stabilize your knees. So if there is an injury to it, can he move and be effective even if he's got pain relief? So for any other player, I'd be concerned, but Embiid's shown a track record of being able to do it. Maybe he comes out with the brace and plays, but it's a weird injury for him to have. You know, I think they were concerned about an LCL and they were giving him PRP. So something that we have to watch and see, but I don't know. It could be tough for him to come back, but he's shown the ability to do that.
And he is officially the MVP of the league as of this moment.
Okay.
And so Philadelphia, without the league's most valuable player for right now, Doc Pandya, joining us. Doc, I think there's a bunch of stuff around the league we want to talk about, but let's focus on Warriors and Lakers. We hear a lot of people say, oh, this one-day layoff. The Lakers didn't play since Friday. The Warriors have got to jump back after 48 hours. In your opinion, how does that affect the guys?
I think there's minimal impact. I mean, I think when you really look at the impact of kind of fatigue and minutes and rest, you have to look at it longitudinally. Like, has one team had a significant amount more rest than another team? And when you're talking a day with elite athletes, a day or two here and there, I think it's going to have minimal impact. And interestingly enough, even if you look at just minutes per game, Curry actually played less minutes that last game than he had been averaging in the playoffs. I know it's only 2 to 3 minutes, but that can still have an impact. So I don't think that's going to have much of an impact at all, particularly at this level of conditioning, particularly with the stars, LeBron and Steph. A day here and there, I don't think it's going to have much impact on performance.
And Andrew Wiggins in his return from 2 months off, have you seen any sort of a drop-off in terms of his physical output or his ability to be the Wiggins that he was before he missed 2 months?
He looks physically great. You know, I think in the game, you see that explosiveness. I know there was that one putback dunk where he tried to basically end the Kings season, but he missed it during that Game 7. So he's clearly explosive. He's clearly moving very well. I think the basketball part of it, the rhythm, the timing still seems to be a little bit off, and that's one of the hard things to kind of recreate, and even if you're training on your own. But physically, the fact that his ramp-up was essentially one game is pretty remarkable and speaks to kind of just the quality of athlete he is and what makes him such an exciting player when all the pieces are put together.
Doc, I feel like maybe we've touched on this conversation before, but I wonder if we could zero in on one guy. Anthony Davis is one of those people that we call injury prone. Does that exist? And you know, what's your view on what he has worked through in his past?
Yeah, if you look at his injury history, I mean, he's essentially injured almost every part of his body, and everyone says, "Oh, he's quote unquote soft. He's just making up these injuries." I mean, I think he really reflects what happens when you're that tall and you're trying to play like a guard. There is a limit to what your body can handle. 20 years ago, a guy that big would not be trying to play like he would, so he'd have a longer career. So I kind of almost put him in the camp of Zion. You have this big athletic guy who's doing things that someone at 6'1", 6'2" does, and your body just can't hold up to it. So I don't think it's necessarily something inherent in terms of his ligaments or his tendons. It's the fact that what he's trying to play. So what makes him great also allows him to have that higher risk of injury. And it's that balance where he has to figure out, how can I stay healthy but still be that player that makes me special and complements LeBron so well on the court?
We've reached the Kevon Looney love portion of the interview, and I want to tee you up with this, Doc, because in 2015, he had surgery on his right hip. In 2016, he had surgery on his left hip. How remarkable is it for him to be playing at all, let alone doing the things he's doing, coming off of double hip surgery as a young man?
I mean, it really is remarkable. And I think even if you throw in some of his other stuff, he had a core muscle injury. He had, I think some neurologic issues as well, too. I think the key for everyone to understand is that players, even if they're guards, coming off this injury is really, really hard. Then you take this injury that affects your core, and what he does every single minute is use his core. He's rebounding. He's doing all the dirty work, which stretches that area. So the fact that he's playing at that position and excelling at such a high level is truly remarkable and just doesn't get talked about enough. I mean, he is just really kind of bucked the trend in terms of what you would see from players coming back from this injury and excelling at it. So I think we need to appreciate it more than just the rebounds, the fact that he's out there and played, what is it, like 175 games straight now, and it's pretty remarkable.
Doc, please take this the right way. Here's hoping we've got very little to talk to you about next Tuesday.
Yeah, we can do a 30-second segment. Hey, nice talking with you. How do you think about the game? And see you later.
Yeah, we'll get into Yaz and Crawford or something like that, okay?
Yeah, Giants injury news. That's always a good time for the Warriors.
What jersey are you wearing tonight, Doc? I know you're a big jersey guy. Are you going to keep it old school and go with just a classic Steph?
I'm Looney. I'm going to go with the Kevon. I think I gotta rep the guy who's doing all the dirty work. I'm going Kevon tonight.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, great to have you always. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
All right, there he goes. Doc Pandya.
Thanks, Doc.
The proceeding was sponsored by UCSF Health.